Shalom. My name is Yawasab.
My name is Micah Allah.
And today we're going to be going over peer pressure. So, first things first. Let's go into the scriptures and find out examples of our people being peer pressure and things like that. And let's put those into today's perspectives and see if we can use these scriptures as a guideline to overcome it. So, we're going to start off in Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom.
Stop. So, it's talking about family members. He's saying the son, the mother, the father. Go ahead.
Or thy daughter.
Or thy daughter.
Or the wife of thy bosom. Or thy friend.
The friend. So, now he's saying family and friends. What do?
Which is as thine own soul.
Which is as thine own soul, meaning that you guys have things in common. Somebody that's like you. Like, you're going to have a friend that you guys have things in common with. Your family, especially the ones that you're close to, you're going to have things in common with them. And that's why you guys are going to be closer than like a distant cousin or somebody that you just associate with.
Which is as thy own soul entice thee secretly, saying.
Entice thee. He's saying entice thee. That's talking about peer pressure. He go entice thee secretly, saying,
let us go and serve other gods.
So, we hear, let us go and serve other gods, and we think, oh, this is exactly what they're going to be saying to us. That's just a way of how they were talking back then, because they wasn't ashamed of it. Now, a thing would be, let's go celebrate someone's birthday. Now, the scriptures tell us clearly in Job that we're not supposed to celebrate birthdays. We're not supposed to celebrate any of the holidays that America has put out against us or put out for the people, because they're all against the Most High's laws. That's right. So, this is a way of saying, let us go serve other gods, because when we're not serving the Most High, we're serving another God. If they say, let us go out and party, let us do New Year's Eve, these things are a part of other gods. It has nothing to do with our God, right? So,
let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers.
So he's saying, we didn't know these gods before they were introduced to us, or our fathers didn't know anything about these gods. Because our fathers didn't celebrate Halloween. Our fathers didn't celebrate Christmas. Our fathers didn't, they weren't out partying and celebrating the god Janus for New Year's Eve. None of this stuff existed. So, of course, Abraham wasn't celebrating none of that stuff. Of course, Isaac and Jacob wasn't celebrating any of those things. Those are our fathers. Go ahead.
Namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you.
It says, namely, the gods of the people that are round about us. So, he's talking about the other nations gods. So, like, what is it, the Chinese New Year? That's another nation's god. Right. That they celebrate. So if we go celebrate that, now we're celebrating or serving another god.
The year of the dragon.
The year
of the rabbit.
Exactly. Or it can also go into like gangs and things like that, because our God say that we have to love our neighbor as ourselves, that we shouldn't search and for to shed innocent blood and things like that. And that's what happens when we dealing in these gangs. So we're not serving our God. So whose God are we serving? We're serving someone else's God, because our God is against that. So if we're doing that, then we're against our God. We're serving another God in that way. So he says, keep reading.
Namely, of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not consent unto him.
So he says, if your family or your friends come to you saying, let's serve another God, let's go do these things that has nothing to do with our God, our culture, our laws, and let's go do against that. He says, do not consent to them. Don't listen to them. Go ahead.
Nor hearken unto him.
Don't hearken. He said, don't even listen to them. That's what hearken means. It means to listen. So he said, don't even listen to them. Ignore them. Go ahead.
Neither shall thine eye pity him.
And you know, that's another thing that's big with our people. Because when we tell somebody no the first time, then they'll try to make you feel bad. Oh, well, little Jimmy is just gonna be so mad if you don't be able to come to his birthday party. Well, guess what? Little Jimmy gonna get put to death along with the parents if they don't keep the Most High's laws. So he said, don't pity them. Don't allow them to pressure you into doing something that you know is against your God's laws. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him.
He said, neither shall you spare him. So I ain't do it this time, but the next time it comes around, I'm gonna consider it. Or I'm gonna do it because I felt bad the first time. Go ahead.
But thou shalt surely kill him.
What?
But thou shalt surely kill him.
So back in these days, it was okay to put them to death because they was going against our God and that was evil. So he said that we should surely kill them. But today, we know that we're not under the law of sacrifice, so we can't kill anyone. So what did he mean by thou shalt surely kill him? Keep reading.
Thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death.
It said your hand is supposed to be first upon him to put him to death. This is talking about, you know how the scriptures say kill the old man? Means to put off that man. So if a man or a family or friend, they come to entice you to serve another God, he says, don't have no dealings with them. Cut them off. That's what it meant to kill somebody. When you killed somebody, you separated them, you cut them off from Israel. And totally, because they were dead. But now, you know how they say the saying, you're dead to me?
Right.
That means what?
Cut off.
There's no, we don't have no dealings.
Yeah.
The Most High is saying they should be dead to you if they're trying to get you to go against them. Go ahead.
And after, it says, and thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death.
So that means don't wait until the next person tries to tell you, you don't wait until your brother that's trying to keep the law tell you, hey man, look, I heard that y'all was over there talking and y'all, you know what I'm saying, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You ain't supposed to be going over there to celebrate that birthday with them. You ain't supposed to be going over there to do this. Don't have to have somebody have to correct you. You said your hand should be first to put them to death. Meaning that you should be the first one to try to get them away from you. You know, separate from you. Go ahead.
And afterwards the hand of all the people.
Go ahead. Because, he said the hand of all the people, meaning that once you separate from them, then the people that you're around is going to separate from them. Because they're going to know the evil that has been done. If somebody comes and they have, and they speak against the Most High, and then you say, oh man, he evil and this and this happened. Guess what? Now the rest of the people knows, oh, don't trust him. Don't have no dealings with him because he's going completely off. He's not dealing with the Most High. Go ahead.
And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God.
You see that? Family and friends, those that they are close to you, doesn't mean anything because they're trying to separate you from your God. That's the whole purpose. And this is we're going to go through a couple scriptures and it's going to prove that. Go ahead.
And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage.
So he's saying the God that took you out of captivity, now they're gonna try to make you go against him, even though he did all of this stuff for you, but you're gonna get peer pressure and influence to go against him. The same man that freed us, we're gonna go against him. The same man that created everything, that created the person that's deceiving you. Come on, go to the book of Proverbs 1 and 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10. It reads, My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
What? Say that again.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 10. And it reads, My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
It said, listen to him.
My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
No, it says, hear him out.
Consent thou not.
The scripture is plain as day. It says, if a sinner entice you, a sinner is according to 1 John 3 and 4, somebody that transgressed God's laws. If somebody that's completely not trying to deal with the Most High's laws and trying to entice you to break the commandments, he said don't consent to them. This is the second time he said this. Go ahead.
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause.
See, this is the problem that our people have. It says, let us lurk privily for the innocent blood. This is what the sinner would say to the righteous, to the ones that's trying to keep the Most High's laws. So what could that be talking about? Have you ever heard of gangs dealing with somebody that's going to rob the innocent? They're going to rob the same people that's in the same conditions as them, because they know that if they go out there and they try to rob Bill, then they're going to get the police called on them. Because we have a saying in the hood in Israel, snitches get stitches, or don't snitch. Okay. So it says that they lurk privily for the innocent blood. Go ahead.
Let us swallow them up alive as the grave.
So he says, let us swallow them alive as the grave, meaning let us put them to death. Our people doing this consistently to each other. This is what sinners do. They try to entice the ones that have a good path, or righteous, that could have a righteous walk, and they try to get them and turn them into a sinner like them, so they won't feel guilty. It's going to prove it. Keep reading.
And whole as those that go down into the pit, we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil.
That's talking about robbery. He says we're going to fill our houses with substance and precious substance and spoil. Talking about robbing someone and keeping it for themselves. Go ahead.
Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse.
So that means let us go and get all of this stuff and let's divide it.
And you know what else they're going to? Mm-hmm. In gangs, you're not just, the new age is crazy, but in gangs, real gangs, no one man was ever just freely allowed to run around and claim whatever gang. You had to pay dues, and that all went into one pot.
So, keep reading.
My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path.
So he says, don't walk in the ways of a sinner. Don't follow them. Don't allow them to entice you or peer pressure you into going against God's laws. That's the whole purpose of what it is. Peer pressure, majority of peer pressure that exists is solely against the commandments. So he says, don't walk in their path. Refrain your foot from their path. That means, you know what to refrain your foot looks like? It's if you about to take that step and then you say, you know what? I probably shouldn't go down that path. That means that you considered it, but you know better. Mm-hmm. And this is the problem with our people, because we know better, but we don't consider it. That's why he keep on telling us to refrain our foot, to consent not, to hearken not, because he know that you listening, so he's telling you don't do it. Keep reading.
For their feet run to evil.
You know, that's the funniest part, because you know when our people start fighting, right? Mm-hmm. If our people start fighting, what's the first thing that one of the next brother gonna do? They're gonna run over there, World Star, try to put it on camera. All of these things, the scripture, this is talking about 2019.
That's right.
Right now. So he's saying they run to evil. They run to that evil thing. If somebody was to get shot down in the streets, everybody on the block is gonna flock, even if that body is dead. They're not gonna try to say, oh, man, look, stay away from that. Everybody's gonna run over there because our people are evil and they love to see that. Keep reading.
And make haste to shed blood.
They make haste to shed blood. That means that they don't hesitate. They make haste. Just like the scriptures say, make haste to keep the commandments, they make haste to go against them. Go ahead.
Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood.
Wait. They wait for other people's blood.
And they lay wait for their own blood.
See, that's talking about our people. Because no other people go after each other like we do. The blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans, we always going against each other. That's what a lot of these gangs are doing now. They're not going against the people that's running the government. They're not going against the people that's dealing in the laws and the judicial system. They're not going against those people. They're going against the same brother 2 or 3 blocks right down the street from them. This is our people. This is not talking about nobody else. This is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
This is our book. This is how we can prove that this is not the white man's book. Everybody say, oh, this is the white man's book. Well, show me the white man doing this. He not weighing weight to shed his own blood. He coming to shed your blood. Why y'all going to shed each other's blood? And only our blood is getting on the street. Only our blood. So, keep reading. Just keep reading.
And they lay wait for their own blood. Mm-hmm. They lurk privily for their own lives.
Look. They said they lurk privily. That means, because privily means privately. You know, when somebody, they talking amongst each other, how we gonna get them? How we gonna get them? When our people go out to kill somebody, they not out in the open. Mask on, all of this stuff. This is our people. This is our people. But this is the characteristics of a sinner. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. And we all know this. We all understand that all of these lifestyles that we live in has been taught to us, and that we could come out of it, but we choose not to because we don't consent not. We allow the peer pressure to keep on influencing us and making us become sinners. Because ultimately, even though they say every man sin, you have a choice.
Right.
But are you going to choose the righteous way, or are you going to choose the wicked way? Keep reading.
So are the ways of everyone that is greedy for gain.
So a lot of the times it's because they greedy for gain. They want what the next brother has.
Which taketh away the life of the owners thereof.
They take away the life. If a man goes to rob somebody, if they feel threatened that they're going to get told on, they're going to take their life. And they're going to try to take the possessions of the person that they took the life from. This is talking about our people. This is they take away the life because they're greedy of gain. Because they want what the next brother has. So, let's go to Jeremiah 20 and 10, sorry.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 20, verse 10. Mm-hmm. And it reads, For I have heard the defaming of many, fear on every side.
It says, I have heard the defaming of many. To defame something means like they're trying to ruin the reputation. He says, I heard the defaming of many of the Israelites. Say it again.
For I've heard the defaming of many. Mm-hmm. Fear on every side.
Fear on every side. That means that we're fearful on every single side. Go ahead.
Report, they say, and we will report it.
He says reports. Reports, they say. You know how the reporters, they only try to push the evil or the wickedness of our people. They'll never show the righteousness of our people. So he says reports, they say. So they reporting these lies, right? To ruin the reputation of Israel. And it says, and we will report it. He said, we hear the rumors. And we're going to report them same rumors that we hear, regardless if it's correct. Because that's what they want our people to be have the reputation of. They're not about to show no brothers out here teaching the laws up in the streets. They're not about to be showing how our brothers go out here trying to teach the women to dress modestly, so they can stop whoring out they children and whoring out themselves, and actually get a righteous man. They're not gonna show none of that stuff. They'll show you twerking. They'll show you gangs. They'll show you clubbing. You know, all of these wicked holidays. They have 35 commercials, and they all about Halloween, and ain't nothing good coming out of it. Right before they put on Love and Hip Hop. You see?
Oh, power.
So all of these things is a part of them trying to ruin the reputation of Israel. Keep reading.
All my familiars watch for my halting, saying,
Wait. He said, all my familiars. That's the people that's close to you. The ones that's familiar with you. He said, all my familiars, what?
Watched for my halting.
Watch for my halting. Why? Because they want to see you slip up in these laws. They want to see you being like a sinner. Because as soon as they see the sin in you or see a sin about you, they're going to try to make sure that they're getting known. Oh, he ain't got nothing good coming out of him. It'll be one little thing and you slip one time and they're going to try to defame you and ruin your reputation. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it'd be the closest people to you. That's the reason why they try to peer pressure you. Because when they peer pressure you, now they can take all of that guilt because they feel like, oh, I'm the only one sinning if they're around somebody that's righteous and not try to break the Lord's laws. Mm-hmm. So now they're trying to get somebody or they trying to get you to feed into it so then they can say, oh, I'm in the clear now. Mm. Just like it was talking about in Proverbs. Mm. They try to get somebody else to do that dirty work. So then they won't have that guilt on them. You about to say something?
Oh no, you just said you hit
bring it up.
All my familiars watch for my halting, saying,
so they wait for you to slip.
Peradventure he will be enticed, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall take our revenge on him.
It says perhaps, because that's what peradventure means. Perhaps he'll be enticed, meaning somebody could peer pressure him and convince him to go against God, right? Mm-hmm. And it says, what are they gonna do after he is peer pressure?
And we shall prevail against him.
That's their whole goal, is to prevail against us, to make sure that we in sin. That's right. Go ahead.
And we shall take our revenge on him.
And that's the whole, because the revenge isn't coming from the person that the family member or the friend that's there. It's coming from that sin that's within them. The sinner wants to see the revenge. Because what is the revenge talking about? That revenge isn't about you. It's about God. That sinner is trying to get you to go against God. Not the person within you, but that spirit that you have on you. They don't want that spirit to live. Because they know that if that spirit lives on, then the Most High is going to take his position back. And the gods of the earth, which is the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when they keep the laws, they're going to be back in rulership.
That's right.
But guess what? It's revenge when we're not in rulership. So of course they're going to try to keep us in sin. Because when we sin, they profit. When we live righteously, they in shambles. And they realize that, and they know that. That's why they push this sin on us so much. That's why they have so many influencers out here trying to teach us to go against God's laws.
That's right.
Everybody that we look up to, they try to put the men, they try to make effeminate and try to tell you to go against God's laws. The women, they try to make masculine, tell you to go against God's laws, and just to try to make you stay in sin. So, let's wrap this thing up.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. Mm-hmm. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness.
So it says, wisdom is more moving than any motion. That's talking about how the Most High's laws is more moving than any of the movements that's going around, any of like the trends and stuff like that. It's more powerful than all of that stuff. Because when you going with the Most High's laws, none of that stuff can affect you. None of that stuff is going to play an effect on the way that you live in your life. Go ahead.
For she is the breath of the power of God, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty.
So he says a pure influence flowing through the Most High, flowing straight from the Most High himself. So the wisdom, his laws, is that pure influence that's going to get you through all of this stuff. So if you allowing that to be the influence opposed to letting the peer pressure of the sinner be an influence to your life, then you will be living right. Keep reading.
Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her?
There it is right there. He says no defiled thing can fall into that. Because when you living according to the Most High and going with going to keep his laws, nothing defiled can come into your spirit. Right. If your main focus is to allow wisdom to be your influence, no peer pressure is going to ever overcome you. No, none of your own lust is going to ever be able to influence you or entice you to commit sin, because you have a guide at that point. You have that wisdom. Right. That wisdom is going to show you plenty things. So when we're going over these scriptures, the whole purpose of these scriptures is to uplift you guys' spirits, allow you guys to stay in the spirit, and allow you guys to understand that just because these scriptures was written in past time doesn't mean that they don't affect the present life that we live in today. So make sure that you guys stay in the scriptures. I hope you guys, these are some good scriptures that you guys can meditate on. And we hope that the Most High gives you guys guidance to learn how to keep these laws effectively and allow you guys to use this wisdom as the pure influence. And with that, we say shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Shalom.